Look, I don't want to make this sound like a cop-out, but I really don't think there's much to analyze about the Bulls and the Hawks playing game tonight. I knew the Bulls were going to win. Whoever was going to play defense first was probably going to win that game. It just felt like the Bulls were in control the whole time. They kept extending the lead. The Hawks would make it a game in the first half and even in the third quarter, but the Bulls finally decided to play some defense, while the Hawks decided not to play some defense. Kobe White and Ayo Dosunmu just got wherever they wanted. Nick Vucevic was making his open shots, even though he did have some very bad misses from three earlier in the game. There just really isn't much to analyze. Congrats to Kobe White, by the way, who had a career night in a very big spot to keep the season alive. Now we'll see if the Bulls can do it again against the Miami Heat, who we will talk about now as we get to the play-in game that was clearly a level above this one and one that everybody wanted to see heading into tonight. The Sixers and the Miami Heat.
Floor seats, crypto, I got my tool in. Fourth quarter yelling, why the fuck Batum in?
Big shout out to Nic Batum. That's why he is in the fourth quarter. Big shots in the third and fourth quarters. Very good defense on Jimmy Butler. He guarded Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler, guarded Jaime Jaquez a few times, guarded Bam Adebayo some on switches. Nic Batum is somebody that I wish the Sixers would have gotten 3 or 4 years earlier, because he is just a smart basketball player, a very intuitive basketball player, a Swiss Army knife, and can shoot. And boy, did he shoot tonight. 6 of 10 from 3. Really just gave the team a lift. Nic Batum and Buddy Hield in the second half really opened up the Sixers offense, because the first half, and I guess we will talk about the first half, when the Sixers got out to that 16-8 lead, then it was like a 26-18 lead. The Heat went to that zone, and I just never seen it before. Well, I have seen the Sixers in big playoff games before look like that, but that was a new level of futility. Like, I've seen some stinkers, and this was a bad one. Maxey, as a floor general, that was the worst I had seen Maxey all season. Just bad decisions. I wonder if him getting hit in the face 100 seconds into the game really had something to do with that. Maybe he was seeing ghosts out there. I don't know, but regardless, he played bad. He was off on his three-pointers. His decision-making was, just in general, it was just erratic. Even Nic Batum and Kyle Lowry, while I appreciate that they were kind of a calming presence out there as kind of the adults in the room, even they had bad first halves. The entire team was bad. Tobias Harris stunk it up, and I'm just tired of talking about how bad Tobias Harris has been this year. Like, it's worse than what I could imagine. And today was bad. He did hit 2 jumpers in the first quarter when the Sixers really weren't getting in their offensive groove yet, but the Heat zone really, the communication, just tagging Embiid and making sure there's always a swarm of people in his area, even within that zone. I couldn't even tell what type of zone the Heat were in. They were just everywhere. They were like a beat quicker on their rotations than normal. Like, they were just ferocious with how crisp and fast they were running their zone, because that discombobulated the Sixers. There was a lot of hesitation. There was a lot of possessions where Buddy Hield and Tyrese Maxey would pass it to each other back and forth, and they wouldn't shoot the open shot, trying to make entry passes to Embiid in the middle of the zone or even on the block, and the Heat are making it physical with Embiid, who clearly doesn't trust his knee right now. And the Sixers just looked anemic offensively. And then in the second half, Buddy Hield and Nic Batum halfway through that third quarter, because it's not like the start of the second half gave Sixer fans much more hope, because at halftime, let me tell you, some thoughts of playoffs from Sixers past crept into my mind. It just looked like one of those games one too many times, but credit Nick Nurse and the coaching staff making adjustments, putting Buddy Hield in the game when I thought Buddy Hield should have just not played the whole night, because in the first half, he was just hesitating, not taking open threes. And then in the second half, the Heat's defense was just allowing dribble penetration all over the place to Buddy Hield, of all people. Blowing by Hayward Highsmith on closeouts, blowing by Tyler Hero. Buddy Hield actually bothered Tyler Hero a little bit in the third quarter before Kelly Oubre and Nic Batum was guarding him for the majority of the fourth. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that the game might have turned when Caleb Martin, missed both those free throws. And the Sixers fans got their free Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets in their, brickin' for chicken promo that they do. Great call by Mike Breen, by the way. He was great on the call with that, really leaned into it, had some fun. And the Wells Fargo Center, just like that, came to life. And right after that, Nic Batum hits a three. Next possession down, Caleb Martin turns it over, and then Buddy Hield gets a layup in transition, and that kind of swung the momentum. And then Joel Embiid woke up in the fourth quarter. The Sixers also had trouble, with the Heat spacing because Kevin Love, once he got into the game after Bam Adebayo was in foul trouble, that kind of almost made the matchup worse for the Sixers, especially with how Embiid's knee looks right now, having to, close out to shooters. And there were just a few threes tonight where Embiid, quite frankly, didn't close out all the way, or he didn't communicate the switch well enough. And the Heat basically got some free points out of it. But the Sixers did well to kind of bounce back, right the ship offensively in the second half. And Embiid absolutely woke up in the fourth quarter. Some crisp passing as well. I thought Embiid's passing, in the second half at least, was just way better. That pass to Oubre for the and one with about a minute left, that was the best pass of Embiid's quote-unquote postseason career, because I guess we are in this weird zone with how we count play-in stats or don't count them. I don't know how I feel about that yet, but either way, that was the best pass I have seen Embiid throw in a big spot. He made a three to tie the game at the beginning of the fourth quarter. He made a big three late in the fourth quarter to put the Sixers up 2, had a big offensive rebound and one. Drew a foul on Jaime Jaquez, who had his hand in the cookie jar when Embiid was going up for the shot. Embiid was just fantastic in the fourth quarter. So he does deserve credit there, but the Sixers, man, were just largely inept when the Heat went to that zone. Look, the Heat did a good job just absolutely mucking up the game and dragging the Sixers down to hell with them. But their defense in the second half I thought was sloppy, just allowing, open threes from Batum, dribble penetration from Buddy Hield. Maxey got going a little bit. And then, of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the Jimmy Butler injury that happened in the first half. That was just a bummer. And now, with the Heat hosting another play-in game on Friday against the Chicago Bulls, Jimmy Butler's knee injury looms large. And we all know that the Heat's offense, the Sixers really got lucky that the Heat are just a bad offensive team, especially with no Terry Rozier tonight, who was a scratch before the game. The Heat's offense is just really bad, but I do think there are opportunities for them to score against the Chicago Bulls. The question is, how effective is Jimmy Butler going to be? Is he even going to be able to play? Because according to Shams Charania, it looks like he could be sidelined with this injury. So then where is the offense going to come from? Tyler Hero, who honestly stunk it up for most of this game besides the fourth quarter, and he made some big shots in the fourth quarter. But you're going to be running your offense through him. Bam Adebayo, who you can run offense through him, but do you need him to carry the scoring load is the question. And the Bulls have a lot of offensive weapons, but Eric Spoelstra is a great coach. I still think the Heat are going to win this game, but without Jimmy Butler, they are going to need a big game from Tyler Hero. They're going to need a big game from Caleb Martin, from Jaime Jaquez. They're going to need big games from everybody. They can't just have their offense stuck in the mud. They got to capitalize on transition. The Heat blew so many transition opportunities tonight. A lot of it was the Sixers getting back and communicating and rotating out to shooters and all that and cutting off the ball. But the Heat had so many easy chances, I thought, to at least extend the lead in transition. And if they had done that, the Sixers would have been out of this game. The Heat really had some dumb turnovers in this game, some baffling chances in transition where they just were not able to score. And they can't have that against the Chicago Bulls because they have guys like Kobe White, DeMar DeRozan, Ayo Dosunmu, guys who are, one, playing free, especially the young guys like White and Dosunmu, but they have guys who can score. But I still think the Heat are going to put together a nice defensive game plan, and I think they're going to squeak out this one, and we're going to be having a Celtics-Heat matchup. Jimmy Butler and no Jimmy Butler, I'm picking the Heat in this one. And as far as play-in predictions go, I am 3-1. Not that anybody asked, though.